person only that I would like to introduce tonight. He has been our moderator, I think, for 7 years now, and that's Joe Jacks. I'm sure that those of you who have attended our are getting used to seeing Job. He was born and raised in Bay St. Louis, the son of Joseph and Virginia Jacks. His dad was a well-known attorney here in the county, served as a county defender, I think, for a long time. His mother was the librarian at St. Stanislaus for 37 years, and she was posthumously awarded the Hall of Fame Award as the librarian at St. Stanislaus. Joe was educated at St. Stanislaus, went on to Ole Miss, where he was an athlete there and served as assistant to the athletic director, graduated there. He is now serving, has a banking career, and he serves as the credit risk manager for the First National Bank in Picayune. But he still has time for his other career, and that's helping me out with sports. He's also a sports writer, as I'm sure all of you know, with the Seacoast Echo. He and his wife, Robin Seal Jacks, live in the Kill with their 3 sons. So, without further ado, let's give Joe a warm welcome from Waveland.
First and foremost, thank you, Lana, for the very kind introduction. I'm extremely humbled and appreciative to the Hancock County Alliance for Good Government in inviting me to be a part of this capacity this evening. This forum process is one of the countless gatherings we are afforded by the Bill of Rights and the Constitution of the United States of America, which guides, protects, and governs this great republic. Tonight we have a panel of three media guests from along the Mississippi Gulf Coast. We have representatives from all 3 media disciplines: the print media, the broadcast television media, and the digital media. First, we're pleased to have on our panel Mr. Jeff Belcher. Jeff has been involved with the newspaper media industry for more than 25 years. For the past 19 years, he's been employed at Hancock County's hometown newspaper, the Seacoast Echo, where he currently serves as managing editor and advertising director. He's been married to his wife, Sandy, for 26 years. They have a 9-year-old daughter, Sarah, who attends North Bay Elementary. Jeff and his family reside in Bay St. Louis. Secondly, we're excited to have Mr. Doug Hanshew serve on our panel this evening. Doug has been a resident of the Mississippi Gulf Coast since May 1969, when he and his family moved here to the coast. He attended St. Clair Elementary and graduated from St. Stanislaus College. He earned his Bachelor of Science degree in accounting from the University of Southern Mississippi in 1986. For the last 25 years, he's been the managing member of Douglas K. Hanshew CPA PLLC, an accounting firm that provides audit, attest, and tax services. He also owns and operates Slab New Media LLC, which was established in 2007 and owns the website slab.org. That website was originally designed to cover Hurricane Katrina wind water insurance litigation, but has since evolved to cover an array of public interest topics, too numerous to list here. He has served the CPA profession by working on several specialized statewide committees established by the Mississippi Society of Certified Public Accountants, including serving as chairman of the Governmental Accounting and Auditing Committee in 2000. Doug and his wife Jennifer have been married for 32 years and now reside in Wiggins, Mississippi. Finally, we're honored to have Mr. Doug Walker of WLX TV 13 serve on our panel. Doug was the assignment manager at WLX for 20 years, but has since returned to reporting, which he says, "I enjoy the challenge of hitting the streets and reporting on news that touches people's lives." Doug is a product of a military home, which gave him the opportunity and the challenge of attending several different schools and several locations. He began his career in broadcasting on radio, but after 14 years, he made the transition to television. He earned his associate's degree in applied science from Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. He lists his interview with former President of the United States, George W. Bush, in 2006 on the 1-year anniversary of Hurricane Katrina as the highlight of his professional career. When he's not hitting the streets looking for the next story, Doug enjoys playing golf, basketball, tennis, and spending time on his boat. He cherishes his family time with his wife, Lila, and his 2 daughters, Tara and Ashley. The guidelines for tonight's forum: Aldermen will go first, followed by the mayoral candidates. Each Alderman candidate will have 90 seconds for an introduction of themselves and for their platform. The panel will direct the questions only. There will be no questions taken from the audience. and there will be no outbursts or responses from the audience members either. We ask that you respectfully maintain your decorum here inside this building. Once the question is read to the alderman candidate and the mayoral candidate, they will have 60 seconds to give their response. If they invoke the name of an additional candidate here tonight, that candidate that is invoked will have 60 seconds to respond. There will be just one response interval allowed, so be mindful if you have to respond. At the conclusion of the questions, each candidate will have 90 seconds to deliver their closing statements. We will go in alphabetical order of candidates. There will be no favoritism benefited by the alphabet. We have no control over it. Created long before we got here. Colonel Thorpe will keep the official time, and I will stand when there are 10 seconds left to alert the candidate that they have those remaining seconds to finish up their answer. I will cut you off if you go beyond your time. Please do not think I'm rude. I'm simply trying to keep order in the forum. Okay, starting with the candidates. Okay. These candidates: Bobby Richardson, Don Seidenkettle, and Henry Teddy. You may come to the front.
Mr. Teddy.
We can do the alphabet. First, 1 minute and a half, right?
Yeah, 90 seconds, yes, sir.
90 seconds, I can't give you everything I wanted to tell you, but maybe it'll come up in the question. My name is Henry Tebby. I've been a resident of Waveland for 5 years, and I feel that it's time, a turning point. Lots of new people coming in, lots of things that need to be done, and I'm hopeful that I can get on a team that's going to get them done. I'm running because I'm disheartened with a lot of things, and I'll try to get those in a minute. I'm disheartened with the lack of communication among all members of the community. I'm disheartened by the lack of urgency to do anything. I'm disheartened by the lack of response when a question is asked. I'm disheartened by the fact that we don't have any written long-range plans to deal with sewage. I mean, we don't have any written, and I know it's in somebody's head, at least that's what I'm told every time. I want to see them written, time, dates, costs, and then we can hold people accountable. Right now, I don't know who you're holding accountable for what. I don't know personally all the candidates for mayor or for aldermen, and I have nothing against them. I just think I can do a better job. We actually need plans, long-range economic development. I don't know where it is. Move. Okay, that's my minute and a half. All of you standard thoughts people, I was a brother of the Sacred Heart, Brother Norbert, but I didn't teach any of you.
Thank you, Mr. Teddy.
Okay.
Is Mr. Richardson or Mr. Seidenkettle here? Bryce Phillips. Okay. Mr. Fountain, Mr. Kidd, Mr. Lewis, and Mr. LaFontaine. You please come up to the front.
Greetings, I'm Ron Lewis Sr. I'm 30 years here past in Waveland, Mississippi. I raised 3 young men here. I currently work on the Public Works Department, so I know the flow of the city. I think I can do a better job. I know I can do a better job to represent each and every one of the citizens here. I bring vision, I bring newness, I bring freshness. I am a boots on the ground, roll up your sleeve type guy. I talk about the word ability. I will be 100% accountable for any action or decision that I make, but without you guys. What Waveland lacks is communication and people getting involved to make this city grow better. It's not what I can do, it's what I'm already doing. Yesterday I just did a press release for our schools. I'm a hands-on guy, but I'm very hands-on and very stern when it comes to raising our young people here in Waveland. That's what we're missing. Thank you.
Mr. LaFontaine.
Hello, name is Shane LaFontaine. I'm running for re-election for Ward 3 Alderman. I've served as 8 years. This term I have served as Mayor Pro Tem. I've also served as the appointee for the Hancock County Water and Sewer District as Waveland's representative. And I've seen a lot of things happen in these 8 years. Last year I did not participate in the forum. I did not have an opponent. Chose to this year. I think it's important. And just asking for your support for re-election. Like I said, I've seen a lot of projects. I've seen the city at its lowest point during my first term in office. This term, I've seen a lot of things happen. I've seen a lot of projects. I've seen us working on the water bills, the sewer projects. The sewer was mentioned. We've lined over 80 manholes. We have raised riser rings. We've done everything we can to cut the cost of infiltration of water that's being treated at the sewer plants. Water bills, we restructured them, feel as if it's a fair and equal bill. Now that you pay for what you use, not like with your power bills, the more you use, the more you pay. We have families of 4 paying the same amount as a person of 1. And so that's been restructured. A lot of projects. We've completed down at the Waveland Park. We've got a splash pad. We've got a bathroom now. We have tennis courts. Thank you.
Again, is Mr. Fountain or Mr. Kidd here? Okay. Mr. Burke, Mr. Piazza, Ms. Clark, you come to the front.
I'm Jeremy Burke, current Ward 1 Alderman. Grew up here, lived here, moved up to Hattiesburg, went to the University of Southern Miss, graduated there in 2007. Got a job opportunity at St. Stanislaus, moved back home, met my wife, Kristen Tusa. Currently live here with my 14-year-old Gabriel, my 3-year-old Ruth, child with no shoes on. You know, I ran for Alderman 4 years ago because a lot of times in many cities across, there's a void of young professionals, young adults that have a say-so. I serve on the board, and I currently want to serve on the board again because I want to make a place where my kids can be proud, where they have an opportunity to move back home, where they want to move back home and raise their kids. Over the past 4 years, we as a community have done a lot. We've been able to open up the Garfield-Ladner Pier, move the police station to our police department to a permanent home on Big Lawrence Street. We've invested millions of dollars in infrastructure. Because of good financing and correct spending, we have millions of dollars worth of projects earmarked in our budget coming up. We have a lot left to do. We've started cleaning up the light. We know we have more to do. There's so much more I want to work on in the next 4 years.
All right. Hi, my name is Sarah Keir Clark, and I'm running for Alderman for Ward 4. A little bit about me. I'm homegrown. I'm from Waveland. Went to St. Clair's, went to Our Lady Academy, graduated in 2005, and enrolled in the University of Mississippi. Graduated 2010 with a BA in journalism and a minor in English. Upon graduation, job opportunities took me to the state of Alabama, where I was a journalist. Actually interned at the Echo once upon a time. And then that segued into me being a brand manager for Budweiser Busch Distributed. I've been married to 4 years to my husband, Jeremy Clark, and we decided a few years ago that we wanted to start a family, and so we didn't know the decision was to stay in Mobile or move to Waveland. So we decided to plant our roots in Waveland. We have an 8.5-month-old, and the reason why I'm running is I feel like the board needs some fresh perspective. I feel like, sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. I think now more than ever we need proactive leadership to continue the momentum with Waveland moving forward. I believe Waveland is capable of achieving great things, and I want to focus on shaping our city to become a more sustainable and economically sound community for future generations because they are Waveland's future.
Piazza. I'm running for re-election for Alderman Ward 4. And like Joe and Jeremy, I am also a Stanislaus graduate. We've had a lot of projects that we've done over the last 4 years. And I would like to have another term on this board in order to continue to see these projects through, and also let's start new projects to move Waveland forward. I see that we have a lot of new homes being constructed here in Waveland. We need to see about getting more of these residents come back to us, and especially the weekend residents who come in for the weekend but live out of state. I've been married for 38 years. Me and my wife, we had 7 children, and I just ask for y'all's continued support when you vote in December. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Piazza. There are 6 candidates that we have heard from in the alderman races. I would like to ask them to come back up to the front. We will now turn it over to the panel to begin asking their questions. The 6 candidates that came and spoke to us just recently, would you please come back up to the front?
Maybe they can sit since there's 6 of us.
Sure, that's fine. Yeah, you can sit.
You go first. Oh, he needs to.
Okay. These are the 6 candidates that we have here tonight for alderman races. We will turn it over to the panel here to ask the questions. When the aldermen answer, we will answer in alphabetical order. This is the order that it is. Mr. Burke, Ms. Clark, Mr. Piazza, Mr. LaFontaine, Mr. Lewis, Mr. Tedder, in that order. Panel, I turn it over to you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, my first question is this. I see on this Republican, Democrat, independent list, all of you running. I want to talk to you about the political climate in our country, the political climate in Waveland. We have bombs being placed at the homes of Democrats. We have the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell being berated by someone at a restaurant. What is wrong with the political climate in this country, and what are you prepared to do to make sure that you work across the aisles with others to make sure that our system remains seamless and is also dignified?
Thank you, Mr. Walker. So, man, you came out firing, didn't you? Let's say I'm an independent candidate myself. One of the reasons I identify as an independent, and this is not just a local thing, it's a state, federal thing. I truly see both sides of the situation. I say this about politics and everything else. You know, you have 2 sides of the story. Somewhere in the middle is probably the right answer, and that's where I'd like to see. There's some issues that I'm all the way on the right on, all the way on the left on it. Most of it's, I'm right there in the middle. I believe obviously, whoever I work with on the board and mayor, regardless of party, their beliefs, or whatever else, it's all looking towards the greater good and what needs to be accomplished for Waveland. You know, obviously being respectful, a lot of things are happening nationally and internationally. Basically, we're not respecting each other. But I think it's something that I'm very good at doing, is seeing all sides of the story and hearing from people I agree with and don't agree with.
Thank you, Mr. Burke. Ms. Clark.
Okay, so in regards to that, I too am running as an independent, just for simply municipal level. I just think it's different your political affiliation. I do not condone any of the terrible things that are going on between each party. As for working together with others, whether they're independent, Republican, or Democrat, I feel like we should all work together seamlessly because we're all working for the same goal, to move Waveland forward and be proactive and be critical thinkers to solve some of these issues that we have facing us. You know, Katrina needs to it's been part of the narrative, but doesn't need to be moving forward. That's it. Just having bipartisan efforts.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. Fontaine?
Yes, I'm running as a Democrat as well, but as most people know, that I don't vote the party lines. I'm not the type of person that's just gonna go with someone just based on their party beliefs. I believe in voting for what's right, what I feel is the best interest of the city. And anybody that has sat on the board with me has known that, you know, we've always talked about, we don't always agree on everything, but at the end of the day, we have a city to run, and that's basically how I feel about it.
Thank you, Mr. Fontaine. Mr. Lewis?
Yes, first, I'm running as a Democrat because the values line up with me. But we also have to realize that we have to take a page out of the young adults book and learn how to play together. The party line, the D behind my name really stands for deliver. I have no problem with working with anybody in any party, whatever they represent. It's about what's best for the people. It's about what's best for this whole country. Most of the time, people fall short of crossing party lines because they're just not educated on what, you know, political power, what political party is involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Mr. Piazza?
I also am running as an independent candidate. After seeing what goes on in Washington, how the Democrats and the Republicans cannot reach across the aisle to one another, that's when I decided I would run independent. But as far as the current board, I feel like that we have a lot of respect for one another. We come in here to a meeting, we handshake with one another, and when we leave, before the night's over with, it's another handshake and good night. And it's just getting out of hand the way things are these days. We have to find a way to control something. Control what's going on in Washington and even up at the state level.
Thank you, Mr. Piazza. Mr. Tucker?
I'm running as a Republican because I am a Republican. And although when I went to register, it seemed like I could run for anything I wanted because it was just a matter of, at this level, we're all basically the same. Democrats have different ideas, Republicans have different ideas, and independents, I presume, have different ideas too. So it wasn't so much what party, although I'm glad I got to run as a Republican. With regard to the question, somewhere along the line, we got to sit down. I mean, so many things do not make sense. Common sense is out. We need to get, or someone would need to get at the local level, if there's something like that going on, we have to sit down with those people who are opposing and talk about facts. I look at some of the stuff on the news at night and it just doesn't make sense to me. We got laws and yet it's okay to break them. We can do anything we want and it's okay no matter what the government laws say. That will pass by everybody, so a lot more
Thank
on
you, Mr.
that.
Tucker. Okay. Next question.
Hi, how y'all doing?
Great.
I have a two-part question. As each, you're not all from one ward, you're from different candidates, different wards, but this applies to each of you. What do you see as the number one problem in your respective ward, and what is your plan to do it?
Mr. Burke?
Number one problem in, well, I guess two-part question. Number one problem in my ward currently, Grant, we have construction going on and that's getting corrected. One thing that my main priority that I'm trying to do besides sewage is we need to make connectivity, being sidewalks, better infrastructure, better roads. After Katrina, all this federal money came down here, we got roads paved. Now we're left high and dry. Now we're looking for money. Luckily, the state legislature had a special session and looks like over the next 4 or 5 years, we're gonna get got another $500,000 or $250,000 coming down from an infrastructure bill they passed, along with our general allotment from county millage. But what our biggest issue is roads and sidewalks, where there's no connectivity. You have kids riding or running and walking in the middle of the street. We have the sidewalk plan, but we need to have the funding and actually get it
Thank you, Ms.
implemented.
Burke. Ms. Clark?
I think the number one problem in my ward is, I think another one is drainage.
I know that that was somewhat corrected, I think, but I think that needs to definitely be revisited. We need to be making our roads safer and also expanding the sidewalk project to south of the railroad tracks to Sears Avenue, where there's a good chunk of the population lives. There's a subdivision, Sundance, summer homes. There's a lot of longtime residents south of the tracks that I think that's being neglected, and that road is not safe. Expanding the sidewalk project, and I also think light's a big issue in my ward, huge issue. I know it's being taken care of by the board now, but I really think that we need to be a little bit more aggressive on solving that issue because it's a huge eyesore. One of which is my ward is the intersection of people coming in from 90 to Waveland Avenue right there, and that's the first thing they see. We need to really fix up that scenic byway because it's the artery to get to the scenic byways.
Thank you, Mrs. Clark. Mr. LaFontaine.
Yes, I have to agree. One of the biggest problems that we do have right now, and we all corrected it, was the sewage projects that's being taken care of. The sidewalk project should be out for bid here shortly. That's going to take care of Waveland Avenue. But we do have a lot of other streets where we have a lot of kids standing on the side of the roads waiting on school buses. As far as drainage, you're right. We did do a lot with the major drainage project that we've done. Now the problem is fixing the infrastructure as far as the culverts. A lot of the problems with our drainage, it's not that the ditches aren't being dug, it's just that over the years, with building and infrastructure taking place, the culverts need to be resized. So, like I said, that's one of our biggest problems right now, and that is being addressed as we're going in and doing repair work for 2 roads. The culvert issues all being taken care of, but you can't have a culvert draining from a 16-inch culvert down to a 10-inch culvert. That's the types of issues that we're facing with drainage.
Thank you, Mr. LaFontaine. Mr. Lewis.
Yes, the drainage is definitely a problem in my community, but one of the major problems in my community is the lack of attention. Right now, we're working on a 40-year-old sewer line that should never be. Public safety is a big concern in my area because my area have a tremendous amount of kids. I have a lot of elders in my ward. I think my ward should, be better represented or taken care of than it has been in the past. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Mr. Piazza.
In Ward 4, as Sarah said, there is some drainage issues. But when you get a 2-inch rain in 1 hour, you're gonna have flooding. Also, take for example the annexed area, you get a 2-inch rain in an hour, you're gonna have streets go underwater. I've rode that area several times in heavy rains, and the streets are underwater. Another issue we face here in Waveland is elevation. Our annexed area is only 4 feet above sea level. We get a strong southeast wind blowing, it's gonna push water in, the street's gonna go underwater. You can't fight the tide. Now, we do need to revisit the drainage, and we will. Okay, I'm through.
Thank you, Mr. Piazza. Chevy.
Okay, well, I stick with Ward 1, again, like most of the areas. Drainage and sewage and drainage is the biggest problem. I mean, and the way you correct it, you've got to have a plan. I mean, all I see is this haphazard. If someone yells, I notice, I run around Ward 1 every day on my bicycle. And I can see some little street getting all dug up to have drainage put in. I don't think that's part of a larger plan. And if you don't have a plan, you're not going to get anything done. If you're going to the grocery store and you get in your car and you don't know where you're going, you're not going to get to the grocery store. So we have to have that plan. Planning is the most important thing in any management leadership piece that we need. The second thing that we have a problem with in 1 is that we've got a lot of people that live in Waveland Ward 1 with the weekend tags. I don't mean visitors on the weekend. I mean people that get in their cars at 6 o'clock in the morning and ride to New Orleans. I'd like to know who's
Thank you, Mr.
getting the
Kelly.
license plates.
Mr. Hanshu.
The redevelopment of the Highway 90 corridor has been in the news twice within the past month. once, over the removal of some oak trees and once over the proposed redevelopment of the old travel inn. What is your, position and vision for the redevelopment of Highway 90? And how do you, the preservation of the oak trees and things that we have versus the need to get those areas redeveloped?
I guess, one, obviously it's been in the news. Obviously, whenever, looking at the Highway 90 corridor, it's gonna be your biggest sales tax. Though we have other commercial streets in Waveland, being Coleman Avenue, Kilcroft Road, and 603, Highway 90 is the main thoroughfare. We're doing some street scrape, MDOT's doing some work, but as opposed, I guess, preservation-wise, you have to, how I've always looked at it is weighing what it is, what they want to do, and what they're going to do to solve the issue. I guess, speaking of a urgent care, whenever I was one of the ones that voted to allow people to remove them to put urgent care. As my personal opinion, the accessibility of healthcare in Mississippi, especially Hancock County, is something that's in dire need. And if it means keeping, people that affordable health care to people that need it most, where most of our Section 42 is, what I see for Highway 90 is going to be, obviously, we need some lodging, but we need to have smart throws, not just throw something up and hope it sticks.
Thank you, Mr. Burke. Mrs. Clark?
Yes, I do believe, so a position on redevelopment, I think a big issue is focusing on economic development here, and however, from like last week's meeting, I do believe that we need to revisit the ordinance about the trees. I keep with Beautiful Committee suggested having the board revisit that ordinance. I know there's a fine line there. Also being aware of that, and then also as in regards to the hotel and new development, I agree with Jeremy that we need to not just throw something up. I think we really need the board needs to do their homework, and I think they need to have a firm hand when it comes to something that hasn't been touched, and since 2005, having a firm hand on rebuilding it and being firm on the new permitting and building requirements.
Thank you, Mrs. Clark. Mr. LaFontaine?
Yes, with the urgent care, I was also one to cast a vote as yes for the oak trees to be removed, for the urgent care to be built. I do see the need to have a urgent care in Waveland, as Ward 1 had stated. And it's going to be a continued problem. The more that we see growth in Waveland, the more it's going to come up. We have our oak trees here. It's a tough decision. It's not an easy decision. I'm glad to see that Keep Waveland Beautiful did approach the board about revisiting the ordinances, reviewing boards. I appreciate that. And as far as the building on Highway 90, the board's biggest problem with that building was the blight. We issued cleanup letters to them and told them that something had to be done with it. The building looked like it was pretty bad need. Sorry. That was our biggest problem with it. To my knowledge, there hasn't been a permit pulled to say what the building's going to do.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes, let me go on the record. I'm not for any removal of any oak trees in the city of Waveland because it takes away from the character of our city. Waveland, Mississippi is the corridor of Highway 9 of the Mississippi Gulf Coast. The first thing you come to see is 2 junkyards on the side. I think we need to talk to our board of supervisors and try to get things like that because that's the first thing they see. Nobody's gonna lodge in this city when the first thing they see is tattoo parlors, title loans, junkyards, and torn up hotels. That's just not inviting to tourists or anybody lodging in here. Our first thing we need to work on is beautification. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Mr. Piazza?
I, for one, when it came to the vote on the urgent care, I voted against cutting the trees. That was the second time that I voted against cutting trees. We have lost a lot of trees when Katrina came through. We had live oaks completely uprooted out of the ground. Now, the corridor for Highway 90, yes. Like Ron said, we need to clean up, it's a junkyard. The hotel, I'd like to see it refurbished and become a major economic development here in Waveland. That way we can attract more people here in Waveland for weekend visits, if they would like to come. Also, the Highway 90, we have, other properties that are available for sale to where investors can come in.
Mr. Tevin?
Highway 90, everything that's been said I agree with, but it's going to be a commercial corridor, and I just think that leadership should be meeting with these statue places or whatever else we don't think makes a good entrance to the city. Not to get rid of them, but to talk with them about the problems and the concerns and see if we can work together to make things look a lot better. You have a zoning board. I believe in following the zoning board's recommendations. When they say don't cut down this, or don't do that, or don't give this leverage, I presume that the zoning board has done their homework. And I think it's ridiculous that a committee would overturn something they said unless they had a very, very good reason to do so. So I am completely against tearing down any oak trees, and that's not the only thing about zoning, anything that they would recommend. Negotiate with the people that you need to make
Thank
change.
you, Mr. Tevin. Mr. Walker?
Thank you very much. A little while ago, I heard one of the candidates say they want to see people rebuild down on the beachfront. They want to see people move back here from New Orleans for 2 weeks or 2 days or for a weekend stay. And I don't live in Waveland, but I'm very familiar with this area. I'm very familiar with the entire Mississippi Gulf Coast. And you folks are facing a problem that every city has. And that is, and I hate to be blunt, ugliness. You go up and down your beach drive, you see overgrown lot after overgrown lot. Right next to this beautiful thing that's being built on the beach with a lighthouse on it, right across the street, pilings from a home that was washed away more than 13 years ago. What are your plans to beautify your beachfront to make it more attractive for people to move back here and build here?
Mr. Burke?
I know it's been talked about. I am one that would love to invest in a bulldozer and just start taking and tell our attorney, figure out why we tore it down later. Obviously, it can't do by. Ward 1 has probably taken down more blighted homes and addressed more blighted ward. They've had a number of programs. Mississippi Home Court had one that's trying to partner to address all blight. Problem is the funding and the mechanism to do it just wasn't there. There was no way for us to. Yes, we could pass an ordinance to say any slab, any other overgrown is going to be there, but then you're going to have a lot of property that's going back to the state. Obviously, there's a fine line. I think what Waveland's doing now is having smart, taking piece by piece. It's getting there. We probably have 100, probably 50 homes that probably in lots that need to come down now. It's just slow but steady. And it's smart ones of addressing Highway 90 now, and then we're gonna go move to the residential, what we
Thank
want.
you, Mr. Burke. Mrs. Clark?
I hate to say this, but I disagree with you that the ugliness is on Beach Boulevard. I think that the eyesore is really on the entries to the scenic byways to Beach Boulevard. I know there's some empty lots and there's some pier pilings, but like I said, I really think that the ugliness is on Highway 90. We need to address that. That's what people see when they come in. I mean, they see where there used to be a giant shopping center at the intersection of 90 Waveland Avenue, and it's nothing there. There's a remediation center, vacuum sucking up the gas that contaminated from the underneath the ground from the Phillips 66 gas station. That's where I see. As far as the what we need to make it more attractive to build here, I think we need to bring some amenities here for people to come. There's not enough. I mean, yes, we have a Walmart and grocery stores, but we need to bring some programming, maybe enhancing our parks and recreation department to offer some programming for our youth and for our community. Adults, young people, it doesn't matter.
Thank you, Mrs. Clark. Mr. LaFontaine?
Yes. We do have a long ways to go as far as cleaning up blighted properties. From my past 8 years of Alderman, I think we've cleaned up over 200 properties that have had slabs on them, that have had blighted properties on them, houses, sheds left behind. We have been cleaning. Do we have more to do? Absolutely, we've got a lot more to do. But, you know, for a long time, the biggest problem with the city of Waveland was the finances to go in and do them. A lot of these people that left these properties abandoned, they're not gonna take care of them. They packed up and left after Katrina, and they don't care what you do. You can go clean it, but whenever we do it, it's at our expense. You could put it on their taxes and stuff when it's all said and done, but half of these properties are going back to the state right now, because people won't pay the taxes on them. So we do have a program in place. We have been doing as much as we can afford to do. Do we need to do more? Absolutely, we all agree to that.
Thank you, Mr. LaFontaine. Mr. Lewis?
Yes, I'm a big believer in investing in the future. I think Waveland's problem is that in developing this city, we're not bringing everybody to the table. Young adults, single parents, African Americans, Caucasian, all, and have an opinion on how the citizens want this city to form, or be performed. A lot of times we sit back and we look at the different basic properties in this area. Some of that I put on, I would say, accountability. The beachfront, far as I know, Waveland is the only city on the Mississippi Gulf Coast that don't allow commercial buildings. Some of that has to be changed. Some ordinance, some zoning need to be changed. The amenities, I agree with Ms. Kerr about the amenities here. We have nothing here for young adults. We have nothing here to bring people. Economic development is bringing outside money in. Our only eco engine is Walmart, and that's drying up.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Mr. Piazza?
I'm gonna be in 100% agreement with Shane that said. We have cleaned up over 200 blighted properties. We have a long way to go in cleaning blighted properties. Years back, it was said that if the residents came in, took down the pilings, and took up the slab, it could go back to nature. And some residents have come in and done that. But as far as the ugliness, you know, like, they're not coming back. They're going someplace else now. You know, people that left. They just turned their back and they left and they seen what was left of it. But we do have a long way to go. And what Ron stated, I would have to agree with Ron with what he said, you know. We do need development.
Thank you, Mr. Piazza. Jeffrey?
Well, I think we addressed a little bit of Highway 90 in some one of the other questions, but you know, if you come in from the east, or the west rather, into Waveland Avenue, you can't even see the sign that says Waveland Avenue. You can't see many of the signs that tell us where you are or how should you turn here. It would be nice if you knew you hit Waveland Avenue and there'd be some introduction to the city, but that's not there. I agree with a lot of things they're saying, but I'm still insisting on a plan. I'm insisting, if you did 200 this year, or in the last 4 years, are we saying we're gonna do 200 the next 4 years? And if we are, when are we gonna get it completed, and how are we gonna get it done? So that my constituents can come and say, you told me we were gonna do this and we haven't done a thing. That's accountability, and I don't think we have it exactly yet. As far as the beach road, well, I got 10 seconds to tell you, the beautiful trees, Jim, that you're putting up, that's great, but who's gonna take up all those damn posts that are out in the middle of the water, ruining this view?
Mr. Belton?
Prior to Hurricane Katrina, Coleman Avenue, right out here, was a thriving economic engine for the city of Waveland. Shops, businesses, bars. Now, partially due to FEMA's elevation requirements, we don't have much on Coleman. But can it be revived? Is there some way, do you think, that we can bring Coleman Avenue back to where it used to be?
Mr. Burke?
I guess the question was, can we bring it to what it used to be? No, obviously FEMA requirement doesn't, but can it be brought back as a viable commercial area? Yes, but it's gonna be thinking outside the box. I believe what we're doing on the beachfront is gonna help. There've been discussions of trying to make maybe a small craft harbor, boat launch. That would obviously help it, but Coleman Avenue Street itself, it's gonna be thinking outside the box. How can you construct something, obviously, that's gonna probably be permanent value less than what was there before, monetary value, but still be there. Based on many coastal areas, you know, they're open air restaurants, they're open air everything. It utilizes the space well, but does not have the infrastructure investment that it doesn't. It's just gonna take a lot of thinking outside the box to get the street back. It's not gonna be a cookie cutter street like everywhere else in the United States.
Thank you, Mr. Burke. Mrs. Clark?
I do think Coleman Avenue can be revised. One thing that I would like to look into, and we need to be aggressive about, is proposing to perhaps have a petition for FEMA to possibly, I know that takes a long time, to rezone the current flood elevation requirements. I think that's what it's gonna take. I think it's a big risk for, and a big investment for people to come in and build on Coleman Avenue as of now. And it might take that first person and people will follow, but I mean, are we gonna wait around for that, or how long will that be? So I really do believe it needs to be, aggressive with our, county, state, national, representatives, to get this, to inquire about the rezoning for FEMA. I also agree with Jeremy on outside of the box thinking. I'm a big fan of that. I've talked to someone about this, and I've talked about this with my friends and family about the container shell building, looking into that. That's been done like in Denver and Alabama.
Mr. LaFontaine?
Yes, I think you hit a lot of it on the head whenever you said the elevation. The elevation is the big challenge for Coleman Avenue. You look around us, some of our neighboring cities are thriving, but look at the difference in the elevation. Currently, right now it is being reevaluated. The state has sent the money down. 3 coastal counties are being re-looked at as far as remapping. I think it's gonna take 2 or 3 years before it's complete. What we'll see from it, I'm not exactly sure, if it's gonna be a good force or bad, or they're just gonna say that's where it's at. That is something that's being looked at. As far as what have we done, we've offered tax incentives. We have a supervisor or 2 out there. They've also offered incentives as well. We've offered up all those things. We've sent out the letters. The city sent the letters out asking property owners, are they gonna build back? Most of them came back saying yes, but they're not gonna be the first one. I think if they're the first one, the rest of them come.
Mr. Lewis?
Once again, I'm gonna talk about economic development. My plans for Coleman Avenue, first of all, Waveland is really a community, family type city. I would recommend a recreational strip here on Coleman Avenue. I think after Katrina, we missed the boat far as like not thinking outside of the box. Everything that we want Coleman Avenue to be now, Nicholson Avenue was, but we missed it. A straight shot from Highway 9 into the beachfront property. But I think a recreational strip for our young adults and kids. So most of the time, kids come in here, they look for something to do. I would like to see about making this from the tracks all the way to the beach, a recreational strip, so people can come in. That's economic development, bringing other people into our city to spend their money.
Mr. Lewis? Mr. Piazza?
As has been said several times already, the problem at Coleman and Beach, you only have 5 feet of elevation. That means if you build, you gotta go up 21 feet. Now, a dream of mine would be to see a hotel at the corner of Coleman and Beach Boulevard with an elevated walkway that way when people come in from out of town to stay in Waveland for the weekend. They can go to the beach and not have to worry about their children crossing the road and the heavy traffic that follows on the beach road every weekend. Also, maybe the possibility of acquiring some properties here on Coleman to where we can put in an amusement park, to where we can draw people. I mean, you have amusement parks in Biloxi, in Gulfport, you have the aquarium coming in, you have Jones Park, you have a lot of other things along the coast, but we need a drawing card here in Wayne.
Thank you, Mr. Piazza. Mr. Tevin?
Not much more to say on that. Can it be what it used to be? I think yes. I think the answer is yes. And for all the reasons, you just have to think out of the box. Apparently, you've already gone back or in the process of dealing with FEMA. to see if we get the elevations changed. If that's true, then that's great. If it's not true, we gotta do it. The elevation, I lived here 5 years permanently, but before that I had a house in Bay St. Louis, and for 10, 15 years. And I loved coming to Coleman. I didn't go anywhere in Bay St. Louis. I came down to Coleman Avenue, and I went to Ricky's, and I went to Jack's, and all the other things that were going on down Coleman. So I'm very hopeful that it can come back, and I think a couple of the things we talked about, the elevation changes, thinking out of the box, an amusement center for kids, something that's going to attract people.
Thank you, Mr. Tippett. Mr. Hanshu.
After the hurricane, the Hancock County Water and Sewer District was formed with the idea that all the cities would eventually join, and there would be one water and sewer entity providing those services in Hancock County. The cities have never joined the Hancock County Water and Sewer District, and I just want to ask y'all whether you be in favor of joining or continue to oppose joining the Water and Sewer District.
I think, this administration and previous administration, they've ran the numbers numerous times. It would be more costly for our citizens to buy water from the utility authority than it would be from providing ourselves. Our wells are still good, they're not drying up. I know we have other municipalities along the coast and even in Hancock County that their wells aren't good. It would be a much larger liability, probably doubling the cost of a water bill if we go and join it. Currently, right now, it is money driven. I know there's talking about charging us a minimum fee. It would still be cheaper for us to pay the minimum and we provide our citizens with water than to go and jump on board and do utilities. The thought of the utility authority was a great plan by the state. The implementation was a terrible one. That's the issue with it, so I'm not in favor of joining.
Thank you, Mr. Burke. Mrs. Clark?
My understanding is, I read a recent article in the Echo, I believe last week, regarding this issue, and I think the numbers were done, and as I read, and from what I know, is that it worked financially for the city to stay where it is and not join. So if the numbers speak for themselves, obviously it could be revisited, but from the standpoint of what I've read and what I know now, I'm not gonna lie and say that, I know about all this, to be very transparent with you. If the numbers, they don't lie, and it says that it works, it's, financially to stay where we are in the city, then I'm gonna say, not join the water and sewer agency and stay put.
Thank you, Mrs. Clark. Mr. LaFontaine?
Yes, the numbers have been run, and it is cheaper for the city of Waveland to stay on our own wells. As far as the utility authority goes, I agree with what Jeremy said. The utility authority was formed, and really and truthfully, it was halfway done. It wasn't done completely. Currently, with the sewer side of it, right now, we're paying out money that is going to support plants that are located in Burlington and McKill. Do we want to do the same exact thing with the water? My vote is no. To me, I feel as if we're producing our own water. They said the line was running down here for after a hurricane and we could have water. I'm sorry, you could run that line from wherever you want. After Hurricane Katrina, you couldn't turn the water on because there's so many broke pipes all through our way. You'd cut the water on, you'd flood us again. So to me, there was no benefit in doing that at that time.
Thank you, Mr. LaFontaine. Mr. Lewis?
Yes, I would, if the numbers don't lie, I would like to stay put also, but I would also like to revisit any plan that they will have to have. I just don't believe in turning everything away, but if the numbers all match up and is correct, I would leave it the same.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Mr. Piazza?
The numbers were ran here at Dayton one night, and the board decided, after looking at what they charge and what we charge our residents, we decided that it is cheap for us to produce the water to sell it to the citizens. In fact, I'm pretty sure that it was even said that our wells can go for another 100 years before we have to worry about getting water.
Thank you, Mr. Piazza. Mr. Tippett?
I like numbers, and I like facts, and I like data. And apparently we have all of that, so, no.
Okay, that was quick. Thank you, Mr. Mr. Walker, another question?
Yeah, we can go with the Alderman, or?
Yes, we would like to go one more round of questions.
I'm going to take you back several years ago. The city of Waveland was on the financial ropes. I've already heard from a couple of aldermen tonight saying that we could only do what we could afford. 5 years ago, the city of Bay St. Louis was on the financial ropes. There was some serious discussion at that time of consolidating the two cities into one to save money and make things better than they are. Where do you stand on any possible consolidation of the two cities of Bay St. Louis and Waveland in the future?
Mr. Burke?
Where I stand in the future, obviously, you never want to say never, but this is not just two cities county-wise. If there's an opportunity being, fire protection, police protection, building department availability, that would work well for the city of Waveland and work well for everybody, yeah, absolutely, you go do it. We do in Hancock County, currently, it used to be, when I was a kid, Waveland used to go run their own garbage. Everybody in the county decided to get together and say, hey, if we go out independently, get a contractor together, not only do we have to not do it, we're gonna be able to save money for our residents. Those are the kind of things that we need to look at consolidating, stuff that makes sense as a whole. Economy of scale is something that would be beneficial for Waveland, Bay St. Louis, Diamond, and all of Hancock County. If a company comes in here and says we can do it for Waveland, but if we can get the big piece of the pie and cut it in half, that's something to speak of. But consolidating the two cities now, I think it's not anywhere in the future.
Mrs. Clark?
I think as of now, the last I read, that the city was financially and fiscally sound. I would like, I guess in the future, to answer your question, in the future, I'm not opposed to anything and everything. I would like to hear something out. So I would like, my suggestion would be to appoint folks to a board to, I guess, assess, what would it be to consolidate the city, and looking at the pros and cons of that, sharing responsibilities, getting it out. We can go on and on. So I would just like to know, creating some advisory board of some sort to, gain a better understanding of what that would entail to consolidate these two cities.
Thank you, Mrs. Clark. Mr. LaFontaine?
Yes, I'm not for consolidating the cities and losing our identity. I feel as if there are services that we can look into in which we have. A prime example is working hand in hand with the county supervisors. Now, right now, we're doing asphalt paving jobs that, we're piggybacking off of what the county does. And by doing so, we're able to pave more streets. I think there are some services that we can look at, but I'm not in favor of consolidating. We are financially sound, and I just don't want to lose our identity.
Thank you, Mr. LaFontaine. Mr. Lewis?
Yes, consolidation is a big word. If it would help the citizens, I would be for it, but I'm like Mr. LaFontaine, as long as we're financially sound, I would stay put. But I am concerned about everything growing outside of Waveland. I kind of see that probably would happen. One of my biggest fears is they passed the casino in Diamond Head. Everywhere else is growing except Waveland. Most of our traffic coming from the Louisiana area. If they build a casino in Diamond Head, it will crush Waveland tremendously. So my take on that, I would like to see us pick up the pace for like growth here in the city, consolidate. If it's for the better of the taxpayers, I don't see a problem. But right now, I'm fine with us being a separate municipality.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Mr. Piazza?
I'm gonna make it short for you, Joe. My answer would be no, I wouldn't be in favor of consolidating. We're very unique here in Waveland. Characteristics, okay? We have small town charm, and that's what I want to see.
Thank you, Mr. Piazza. Mr. Timmons?
Every time I talk to somebody, I ask them to close their eyes and picture what this whole area will look like 10 years from now. And I tell them that's your vision. And that's what we have to plan for, what you want it to look at. And someplace earlier today, we don't have enough involvement to know where we want to go. I don't something for people to decide exactly what's going to happen to Waveland. But I think everybody has to be involved, and we have to find a way to communicate, to get input from everybody, residents and weekenders. They both contribute, they both pay taxes, and they both use our facilities. I just think that we need to really find out where we want to go and what we want to do. I don't want to become, back to the question, no. I don't want to become a little Bay St. Louis. And I don't want our culture to be the same as Bay St. Louis. They've got enough honky-tonk places along the beach, and they've got, now commercial stuff, condominiums, hotels, everything going on right on the beach.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Mr. Miller.
Flip side of that question, what do you think it is about the city of Waveland that sets it apart from Bay St. Louis and any other city on the coast?
Albert, let me tell you, I made a concerted effort to move back here. Waveland is a unique place. I have 2 dogs. I walk my dogs every single morning. I once went out of town, and somebody stopped me at 6 o'clock in the morning. They come out on the road and said, "Jeremy, we're so worried about you. We haven't seen you in a week." That is why I love Waveland. You know, it is a small, I mean, it's a town of 6,000, but it could be a household of 5. We all know what we do. It's, you know, we care about each other. You have a benefit for somebody that has cancer, you have the whole community out there. That's the kind of, you know, I understand crime is higher than it used to be, but this is a safe community. I have no problem, you know, having kids ride to whatever park they want by themselves. It's something about being able to just go ride your bike down to the beach and let them go wave fishing at whatever time at night and know that they'll be back at midnight and your door is going to be unlocked. I didn't take up all my time on product stuff, I'd just like to say.
Mrs. Clark.
So what sets us apart is, it's unique and it is a tight-knit community. One of my fondest memories is just growing up here and my mother dropping my brother and I off at school, and then just driving down the road, whether it's someone jogging or, you know, just anyone at the ballpark, just people waving to you. They have no idea who you are, but just everyone is just so kind and just giving you a wave, and that means so much. I've lived in a larger city, there's a lot of people that don't wave. They'll probably do something else, you know, a little bigger. But, and also, you know, the fact that, it is safe. I feel, you know, I can take a jog at night or, you know, with my, it's safe. And then I also, what I like about this, about moving back home, is just seeing folks and you just picking up, you know, right where you left off. You know, everyone's got to ask you how your mom and your daddy's doing, you know, and this one and that one. So, it's that camaraderie that I enjoy about this city.
Thank you, Mrs. Clark. Mr. LaFontaine.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with anything that either of you have said. It's just a small town charm, you know. Lived here all my life and I have absolutely no intentions on going anywhere else. It is a safe community. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically it. I mean, it's just the culture. I mean, you know, we always have cookouts. Everybody cooks out with their families and friends. It's a fun place to be in. I enjoy it.
Thank you, Mr. LaFontaine. Mr. Lewis.
Our character here in Waveland is good family living, a free beach, and our weather. That is our staple here in Waveland. It's a perfect place to raise a family, a perfect place to live. The crime is okay right now. It's seen these days, but now where Waveland sit, you can't beat this location. You're in between 2 major metropolitan cities, and I just think it's just a good place just to raise a family.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Mr. Piazza.
Well, like I said, you know, we have small town charm here. You know, I remember after Katrina, when my family was not here with me, I was working on my house. People would stop in, and I'd be working on my house, trying to get it fixed up. And they'd say, "Hey, how's the family? How's the wife? How's the kids?" You know, I mean, just showing concern. You know, that's what we all did for one another, and we still do it. You know, if an individual sound like my next door neighbor, if they get ill, we there for them. If the people down the street get ill, we there for them. You know, I mean, that's what we do. We all look out for one another.
Thank you, Spencer.
I agree with everything. Everybody's nice. You do wave, you say hello. I'm used to that anyway, but it's nice to make sure that it continued over here. I find it relatively safe, but I don't find it as safe as it was 15 years ago. So I think as we develop, whatever plans we develop for all the infrastructure and those types of problems, we need to think about that. I think the big attraction is the beach. I think of the beach down in Bay St. Louis. There's no beach in Bay St. Louis for the kids to go on, build castles and things like that. We have the beach. It starts out a little bit over there in Washington, and then you got all this beautiful beach with the sand, and it's great for the kids. And I think we need to find a way to promote that. I see more people cleaning it up than I see using it. And I think we need to figure out a way to get that happen, make that happen.
Thank you, Mr. Teddy. Mr. Henshaw.
Several times, the candidates have mentioned public safety as an issue, and there have been some, over the past couple of years, some high-profile type of acts of violence, including drive-by shooting. What could you as an alderman do to help with public safety and to equip the police department to deal with these kinds of issues?
All right, I know I didn't use all last time, but this still is the only community in the country that we argue about who has to go first at a four-way stop. Now it's just a hand-choose question. You're all well aware that, and it's just kind of a culture thing nationwide that police officers are now, unfortunately, in some small parts, are looked at as the bad guy. Always felt, and I still feel, Waveland has a bunch of Barney Fights. We're really not hardened criminals. We have our problems, and as bad as it sounds, a lot of times when you look, it is not local names that are here. After Katrina, we have had, obviously, our more than fair share of federal housing come in here, and a lot of times it's transit people, and this happens to happen where the crime is. This current budget, one thing that the whole board made sure of, the mayor and everybody else, we went to make a larger police force. We added additional money for patrolmen because we know there needs to be more boots on the ground. A lot of the incidents that happen, I personally don't think there's, wait, stop it.
Clark.
I have to say that I think it's imperative that we do, arm our police, our force with the necessary resources to continue to serve and protect our community. I've had two instances, very minor, where I've had to get them involved, and I have to say that they respond in a very, timely manner and very efficient. So as far as public safety, all I can say is just, giving them the resources that we need to continue to protect our community and better serve everyone and everyone to feel safe.
Thank you, Mrs. Clark. Mr. Fontaine.
Yes, I agree. We have increased the budget this year to add more patrolmen on the streets, more feet on the streets. Does make you feel safe and also help prevent the crime. We've purchased more vehicles with the budget. So, we're doing that part of it, and basically that pretty much sums it up. More patrolmen and provide more security, safety for the citizens.
Thank you, Mr. Fontaine. Mr. Lewis.
Yes, I think that's a matter of community engagement and organizing more neighborhood watch program, more people getting to know each other. And we have here in Waveland, we don't even know our neighbors anymore. So it's more of a community awareness, safety thing. I think more than it is a police problem.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Mr. Piazza.
To agree with Shane said is 100% right. We did adopt a budget to put more officers on the streets. If I get a phone call that there's a troubled area in my ward, I'm gonna call the chief, assistant chief, and ask for extra patrol in that area. And no problem, it's there.
Thank you, Mr. Piazza. Mr. Taylor.
I listened to all the politicians in New Orleans when this question was asked a couple of years ago from mayor. And, everybody wants to add more police. I don't know that that's the answer. I think we need to get more community involvement. We need more, I haven't seen too many signs with the neighborhood watch. And there are also a lot of computer programs now where you help your neighbor, keep in touch with your neighbor, ask questions of your neighbor, complain about something to your neighbor. And I think those are some of the things that we have to increase that we're not doing too well. So I'm not saying don't increase police, because that would certainly be helpful, but I'm just saying that'll always be the problem of money.
Thank you, Mr. Teddy. Okay, candidates. We have moved through 3 rounds of questioning, and we're going to give you an opportunity for 90 seconds to deliver a closing statement. Closing statement on whatever it is you want to sum up. And Mr. Burke, I'm going to do
All right, 90 seconds, I can do it, Joe. As I said, I've been the alderman for 4 years now. Have a growing family here. I chose to live here. I'm a small business owner here. There's a lot of stuff that we have to accomplish as a community as a whole. There's obviously a lot more that needs to be done. I like the opportunity to get this done. I enjoy, I feel is my accessibility with my constituents, not just in Ward 1, but as a community, has always been up to par. Most of y'all, many of y'all are subscribed to my monthly newsletter. If not, you see me write for the Base English Shoe Fly magazine every single month to try to tell people what's going on with Great Waveland. Obviously, economic development is always the catchphrase. Obviously, whenever I came in here 4 years ago, you come out in with guns blazing and then you hit a brick wall and realize how government works. It's just a fact of the matter. We have projects that got funded the first year I'm in office. We're about to break ground, and some of them still 2 or 3 years down the pipeline. But myself with the rest of the board have put the city of Waveland in a very good position financially for the next board to come in, but I'd like to be the one that reaps the benefits of in doing those projects. We have sidewalk plans, sidewalk studies that are coming to fruition, but I want the extra 4 years to go and see the next stage of Waveland.
Thank you, Mr. Burke. Mrs. Clark.
I was looking at my notes, everything I forgot in my introduction. Some of which is, I got involved, I wanted to do this because as soon as I moved back, I joined Hancock County Leadership Program, and it's a fabulous program, by the way. That's what kind of catapulted me into getting involved with just the city and the community. I think that my whole thing is fresh perspective, but it's also being proactive. I really think that we need to be active with these issues. It's not going to fall in our lap. We need to be critical thinkers, we need to be aggressive, we need to be problem solvers. We need to be present and active in order to just find these solutions for the city. I will fight for you, I will fight for projects, I will fight for funding. I'm a super enthusiastic, have way too much energy, and I would like to help you, usher in this positive change, and like I said, I don't want to repeat myself, but to problem solve issues. I have a long list of things that I would like to see and ideas, everything from, making information to the city more accessible, citizen alert notification program, the sidewalks, recycling program, enhancing our parks and recs. Like I said, the future is for our future generations. Continuing the motive and enforcing the blight, troubleshooting our stuff in the downtown area. And that's it.
Thank you, Mrs. Clark. Mr. Fontaine.
Yes, as I said in my opening statement, I'm the current alderman in Ward 3, Mayor Pro Tem appointee, and also I've lived here all my life. I enjoy this position. At times it can be tough, but it's every moment of it I've enjoyed, and I too want to stay around and see a lot of the projects that we've started. Problem with government is those projects take forever. It's a slow process. That does get frustrating at times. But I would like to see those projects through, and also more projects. Continue working with the board of supervisors. It's been a great relationship there. The sewer system still needs work, and we still know that we have some drainage areas that we need to address, mostly with culverts. And I appreciate your support on December 4th.
Thank you, Mr. Fontaine. Mr. Lewis.
Yes, I'm a graduate of 2018 class of Hancock County Leadership. Out of all the candidates, I surrounded myself with most of the top political figures here in Mississippi, from senators, congressmen, outside government, to learn what I can do better for this city. It's not what I can do, it's what I'm already doing. Yesterday, I did a press release for Waveland Elementary where our schools are failing. My NAACP, I am the political chairman of the NAACP. I want to see this. What you're getting in me is a guy with vision. You're getting a guy that's going to be aggressive. You get a guy that care about the future, care about the seniors, care about our young adults, and really go to work. In most of your cities, the mailman in the metropolitan cities, the mailman and the garbage man could tell you everything going in the city. I currently work for your public works department. So I see the city as a whole, every day. It's not what I can do, it's what I'm already doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Mr. Piazza.
This all started for me back in 1998. In 2002, I lost my coin toss. 2006, I was elected to the board again. 2010, I was defeated. 2014, I won it by drawing a long straw. It made newspapers across the country. You know, I'm not bragging on myself, but it just goes to show you how people's news gets out. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy helping people. I look forward to helping people. I would like to continue to helping people. Sure, we're not a perfect city, but we have to work towards it. Maybe not in my lifetime, but maybe one day we will be the perfect city.
Thank you, Mr. Piazza. Mr. Tevin.
Well, I too feel we need a fresh perspective and input from more people than we're getting input from. It's nice if we could figure out, and we haven't, how to get information out. We haven't even thought about getting information in. Now, I look around here, and I've come to, not all the board meetings, but just a few to see what goes on. And these are the faces you see, the same faces, the same people that are interested, and but where is everybody else? You know, I've got 1,400 voters in my district. We got 7,000 people, over 7,000 now in Waveland. So we have to figure out a way. I think a survey is one of the ways. I don't like big surveys, but we have to get some input from the people as to what they want. It's not what I want. It's what the people want, and then I'm the instrument that helps us get there. At least that's the way I hope it works. Communication and long-range plans. And on the way out, I got a flyer for you so you won't forget anything I said. It has everything on there, and I appreciate it if you take one, even if you're not in Ward 1. Pass the word.
Thank you, Mr. Tevin. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have heard from our alderman candidates. And I'm getting a little tired of squatting, standing, squatting. I'm getting my workout now. That's fine. We're going to take a 5-minute break. It's 7:26. We'll be back at 7:31 to hear from the mayoral candidates.